Hello, my name is Markus Birkenkrahe. I'm a lecturer of Business Information System at the Berlin School of Economics, and I would like to show you in 3 parts a demonstration of how I use various e-learning objects within the ILIAS learning management system that is established at the Berlin School of Economics. So when you get to ILIAS, the first thing you're confronted with is the login screen. So I'm going to log in to the system, and I land on my personal desktop, which you see here. There's a certain number of objects on here, and we're particularly interested in the courses. As you can see, there are 3 formal courses that I teach this semester, a total of about 120 students, and we're going to look into the course area of one of these. In the first part, I would just like to show you what I do within this course area. I'm not going to show you how I do things, but rather what I did, because this course is actually finished. So you see that the course area itself is split in 2 parts. The first part is called sessions, and it contains every individual session that has run as part of this course. We're going to look into one session in a moment. And the second part, which we get to afterwards, is the content area, where you see folders and you see web links and you see a forum. We're going to deal with that in a moment. So when I look at the sessions, I have defined sessions which you can expand by clicking on the little plus button left of the session name. And then you find inside the session all the different materials that are part of it. To add this material to the session is a matter of selecting the items in a list. In particular, here you see a slide pack. Business process management is the topic of this session. You see a slide pack by way of introduction. You see exercises for Microsoft Visio, the copies of 2 student presentations, as well as a video clip of Monty Python Argument Clinic, which I use for easy laughs. If you want to look inside the session itself and not just access the material, you have to click on the name of the session and you land in the info pane. The info tab contains ready information about the title, the actual place where the lecture takes place. You can add a URL here, which in this case goes to Google Maps, the time of the session, some information about the lecturer, and a table of contents of all the things that actually happened in this session. At the bottom of the page you find a permanent link, which can be used if you want to link to this session from outside the course area. Maybe interesting is this field. This field contains so-called tags or key terms that play a role within this particular session. And once I enter these terms and save them, they appear up in this panel. And let's see how I might use this. You notice one of the terms is Visio, because we're dealing with the Visio program in this session. So if I go back to my desktop and I look at the bottom of the desktop, I see my tags, and this is a list, a clickable list of all the different terms that play a role in various sessions. And at the bottom I find Visio. So for example, when I would like to remind myself where I used Visio for the first time or where I used it at all, I can click on this key term, and this basically starts a search which returns to me exactly the session that we just looked at. So let's go back to the session and let's look quickly how easy it is to add material to the session. So this is all the material that I added in the course of the semester, ranging from administrative material through slide packs, through pictures, video clips, and so on. And whenever I would like a document to show up in the session panel on the course area, I just click it and save it at the bottom of the page. And the result is, as we saw, that it will show up in the course content. So the sessions are an easy way for the students and for myself to sort the timeline of the course as I proceed with the semester. I can either, if I already know what's going to happen in each session, I can either set out the whole syllabus in terms of sessions, as I've done here, or I can add sessions as I go along. Below the session pane you have the content area and the layout of this page, whether you would like to identify sessions at all, how you want the content organized is completely customizable, and you can very easily change it by going into the settings of the course area. There are various folders here: admin, slides, short student presentations, texts and exercises. There are 2 web links, one to a video clip and one to an external wiki, which I've used in previous courses. And let's look at one more interesting learning object, which is a news forum for questions and discussion during the course. The news forum contains articles, topics written on particular issues. They can be administrative issues, they can be conceptual issues, they can be technical issues. This forum, created during this course, contains about 40 articles. Each topic can contain an infinite number of articles. Let's look at one in particular, which has a little bit of discussion in it. Here's one: short presentations, topic and processes. I click on the topic name, and by opening the particular topic, I can see on the left hand side, because I've decided to order this panel by answers, I can see all the different discussion entries that were made in response to my original article, which is a list of suggested short presentation topics. The students responded to these short presentation topics by saying, for example, hey, a colleague and mine would like to take this topic, but they were also starting to begin to talk to each other already. So you have several students here who were responding to each other in a simple way, saying basically, I'd like to join your team, and so on. So the discussion forum, which could also be represented in a different way and ordering by date, which would do away with this table of contents on the left hand side, is the first way in which not only I can communicate with the students, but the students can begin to communicate with one another. Let's go back to the overview of the forum, and let us go back to the central course area to see whether there's anything else worth showing. You can see that I decided to reduce most of the information that's available also in this course. I could also have put an arbitrary header on the top of the sessions panel, for example, an image or some text that is relevant for this particular course. You notice that one learning object that is absent in this course area is the wiki. This is what I'm going to deal with in part 2 of this little demonstration. The reason is that I decided to create a wiki not just for one course, but for more than one course, because I found that the critical mass of students determines largely whether a wiki becomes a more useful resource, which is mirrored by the importance of Wikipedia on the internet. So, just to recap what we saw in this part, I showed you how I use sessions as a simple way to structure the content and the timeline of the course, and various folders to put materials in, as well as the use of a discussion forum.